You're listening to an episode recorded during the time Innovation Fuel was part of University Canada West. We are proud and grateful for the work we've done together, and we want to thank the university for being in our podcast. We are now excited to continue the journey of Innovation Fuel into its next chapter. Thanks for listening.
You're listening to Innovation Fuel, a business podcast by University Canada West.
Bringing you fantastic stories from accomplished entrepreneurs and key industry professionals. Let's explore the entrepreneurial world through local businesses and our university community.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Galari. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Anytime I get to talk about entrepreneurship, I get really buzzed, and I think you do too.
It's not easy. It's not easy choice. It's not easy decisions when you can go and find a job, make sure that you have a monthly income. It's more comfortable to be employee. But if you want to start your own business, it's not easy. Especially if you're an international student, everything is new for you. And if you have a business idea and you really want to start your own business, you have to be very brave. You have to face a lot of risks. You have to face a lot of confusion, unknown, legal aspects, financial aspects as well.
Yeah, there's so many things to think about. Like where am I going to get the money to finance this thing? These are just typical things that most entrepreneurs will deal with, but you're now into a new culture. You're into a new idea. You might have an idea that's coming from an international designation that's done very well, and that it'll do very well here. But how do you go about it? How do you market it? How do you get it out there? And then the other thing you've probably faced too is that I have this visa thing. Am I able to start my own business on this visa element when I'm coming as a student on a student visa? Am I only allowed to work 20 hours a week? What can I do with that element? Can I still start my own business?
Absolutely. But we have a guest today. The guest was the international student, UCW alumni, and he runs his business right now, and he wants to share his experience, how to establish a business as an international student. Let's welcome Peyman Chalabi.
Yes, welcome Peyman to Innovation Fuel, brought to you by University Canada West. We are so excited to have you on the show. And Galari, it's an alumni. A successful alumni, by the way. But don't let me tell you. Let Peyman tell you. Peyman, tell me a little bit about you.
Good morning, Galari and Dave, and thanks for having me today. It's an honor to be with you and all of those who are listening to this Innovation Fuel episode today. And I'm honored to be the alumni of UCW. But before I attend school, I've been doing business for almost 15 years back to my own country. And I consult many industries back then. In 2015, I moved on to Hong Kong and incorporated Chalabi Holdings Limited there to serve businesses in Hong Kong and East Asia. And in 2019, my family and I moved to Vancouver to pursue the career and education in MBA. And thanks God, I found the best one in the city.
We did not pay him to say that. That was his own fruition.
It's true because it's all education, knowledge, and practice together.
So Peyman, what happened after your MBA? You said that you started your own business. First of all, what was the first time business idea came to your mind? And then would you explain a little bit about your business, what you're doing right now?
Thanks for asking, Galari. A business is all about people. And I've always been good at people. What motivates them, what incentivizes them, what inspires them. And it's more a psychological phenomenon than an economic one. Because I had the mission and faith that I moved and stepped into North America in Canada for a mission, do something big. And it started with taking the first step. And we need to incorporate a business to make sure everything takes the systematic and focused entrepreneurial journey to make it happen. So that's how it came to my mind to incorporate a management consulting firm, to not take advantage of my knowledge for my success and also help and assist other entrepreneurs, youngsters and individuals to create their own entrepreneurial path.
What the problem you're solving at your business?
Management is all about setting example for your subordinates and associates. And sometimes businesses, specifically startups, set the wrong examples for their followers. So we are here for the business advisory services to make sure the startup business takes the right steps at the right time. So we provide planning services, financing services, HR and operation services to make sure the business as a whole is taking the right career path to meet its objectives that had already been set by the entrepreneur. So this is how we serve businesses the most. We make sure they can create the value propositions right. We make sure they can meet the revenue stream targets, and they can set a very good cost structure to meet their objectives and goals.
Okay, Peyman, so while you were in the MBA, you started to have your business or no? It was after that. And if it was in the MBA, when the idea of have a management consulting came to your mind?
I really appreciate the courses and subjects that we already had at UCW under MBA course and schedule. So what we had gained over there, I saw many opportunities. Because if you see the number of failures in the startup businesses in the first 2 years of their establishments, it's almost 90%. It's because mostly they don't know how to business or how to do business and how to make it work really. But whatever we gained in the school, specifically in business environment, in consulting, in operation, in all those subjects, in leadership, strategic management. So we learned a lot, and I feel that we can help, specifically after the COVID-19 that hit the market and affected many sectors in the BC's business and Canada as a whole. So I believe that it's the right time and the right place to take step and stay there for businesses. Those who already had the business, we could help them develop their business and also solve their entrepreneurial challenges. For those who want to start their own business, help them out to how to start it, how to plan it, and how to make sure they have enough financial resources to make the business work at least for 5 years and overcome its obstacles and challenges by financing their business.
So Peyman, take us back to where you saw the opportunity. Like, were you in your MBA and you saw this gap in the market and you were trying to facilitate the gap with this? Was this after your MBA when you started this idea?
It was within and throughout doing my degree and MBA. You will feel that there are many good hints, points, and tips in the lessons you are learning that can help the market. But unfortunately, many people take them for granted. They might read it and take exams and pass the subject, but they are very rewarding lessons they can take and learn and help. So while I'm attending the school and classes, I learn and I figure out that these lessons can be very beneficial to solve entrepreneurial challenges for many businesses. And it's about, being serious, having faith in whatever you are learning at school. As consultants, we are one step ahead, or at least we're supposed to be one step ahead from our clients. And what makes it happen is our knowledge and our expertise, what we had spent time learning, and they were doing business at the same time. So we can help because we have knowledge. And as a knowledge organization, we are committed to the results.
Being a new immigrant to Canada, you're going through your MBA, you're launching a new business. So there's lots of different challenges that come into this mix. Can you talk to us more about the challenges you faced as being a new immigrant starting school? What challenges did you face launching a business? What were the opportunities? Because there is some limitations. And when we talk about the work visa and all elements of those things, there is limitations. So how did you overcome those limitations?
That's a really brilliant question, Dave. Thank you so much for bringing up it. As immigrants, the first and foremost limitation is network. The number of people who know us are very limited, because we are new to this country. So we need to be very good at interpersonal skills, at networking, at oral and written communication skills, because this is how make it happen. And the main reason I am still connected to UCW, University Canada West, and its community is because of network, because this is the place that introduced me to the business market and communities in Canada. So we need to always be very tight and stay tight to the connections and network that we already created. The second limitation on the way is competition in the North American industries. So if you come from an industry from China, mostly the community of Chinese might trust you more than a Persian one or Canadian one. This is how we need to make the business work. And again, I refer back to my first word that business is all about people. So I needed to start communication with BC business communities the BC Business Magazine, Business in Vancouver, with many of the radio channels in British Columbia, other podcasts with one of the best ones, Peter Legg from BC Business, that already interviewed Jim Pattison. So we need to make it work with communication skills and present ourselves and sell ourselves. And the third limitation, Dave, was the resources of finance. We need to have enough financial support to make sure that we can have advertisements, marketing, and so on and so forth. So I started this business with not more than $20,000 at the beginning, but it vanished over the first 6 months. So we need to make sure that, okay, we can have the continuous stream of financing. And that's the reason I feel this business need is the business need of many other startup businesses and entrepreneurs. So I started visiting all the banks throughout Canada. I'm in BC. I started connections with agents. I started being friends with agents. I get to know myself and also my team members with the banking system in Canada, that businesses owe their success to banks in the majority of times after the private equity investors. So we connected to the bank, and hopefully we financed many businesses in BC for over millions of dollars of financing over the last 6-7 months. So this is how we need to resolve problems, and it's the meaning of entrepreneurial journey. It means always you might face with the new problem, and you have to be strict, motivated, and inspired to never quit the path you have already started. Never give up, and then start again creating your own solutions to the problems and challenges ahead.
Was it easy to establish your business as an international student? And when did you do that? While you were in the student visa or after that one? And when you wanted to apply, what was the process for you, the legal process to incorporate your business?
So, you need to have your post-graduation work permit because you need to have 100% contribution to make your business successful. So you cannot come up with the IRCC and say, I incorporated my business, but I want to work for my own business 20 hours per week. I personally did not risk that because finally, we cannot maybe sometimes defend our words that I have the business, but I work for my own business only 10 hours per week. So that was much wiser to have your post-graduation work permit. And then after that, technically, there is no limitations for you being in Canada on the temporary visa of work permit to have your own business and work for your business. The only problem is financing with financial institutions and banks, because you cannot be on the lien of the business for 5 to 6 year period until the government or the bank, I will be here for the next 2 years. So you need to make sure, and bank needs to make sure that you are here, at least a permanent resident of Canada, and then finance you and your business and all your subordinates.
So it means you cannot get a finance if you are not PR.
At least from banks. Maybe the private sector and private equity lenders, or even, investors, they might be fine, no worries, but banks never accept. So we went through the equity investors and finance the business. And sometimes you need to be generous on your share structure and corporate structure and make it happen, because being a small part of something big is always by far better than being big part of something small.
So it's going to be very difficult then. It was a difficult decision for you, right?
It is, but if you create something once, you can create it twice or forever. So never be afraid of financing your business by issuing stock for other investors or entrepreneurs. Just make sure that others can work with you mentally and psychologically.
So I want to go back to this because a lot of students at UCW in particular, and international students out there across Canada, other institutions, they have the same idea. They maybe want to develop an idea. They might have a concept they've already developed back home in their country and want to launch it here. So are you saying that they should wait until after graduation to do this, or should they start working on the idea now within the 20-hour limit? Is there still some leeway with an entrepreneurship opportunity versus working for an organization?
Dave, it's a really great question because time flies. And then within a blink of the eye, you might see that you are graduated. So it's better to take advantage of the time of doing your degree, specifically for MBA students, because if you flourish your idea while doing your own degree, you have access to all the professors, you have access to all the resources. So you can make sure at least you have a solid business plan and feasibility study for your idea. And then after graduation, immediately you can put it into action. So this is my own advice to say that, hey, just to start taking the first step write it down on a piece of paper, start typing the first word, and then build connections and ask for advisory services from other companies in BC or your professors to make sure after almost 2 years of education, you have your plan ready. And, just incorporating a company in North America, it happens within few hours. So you can just do it very fast. There's not something wrong with that, but at least make sure you know what you want to do and make it crystal clear. So after all, you will save time because there is a 90-10 rule that every 10% of the time you spend on planning, it saves 90% of your implementation time in the future. So if you use the 2 or 1 year of education on planning your thoughts or doing the feasibility study to make sure your ideas are feasible enough in North America, so you can immediately make it happen and put it into action after graduation.
When I can see your team, most of them are UCW alumni. So did you make that your team while you were a student, or there was a connection after that?
Currently, there are 21 people working for the company. We have a solid team member community, very, very good. At least 3 to 4 of them, I got to know them while doing my degree at UCW. And some of the rest, I was following the channels, I was following the social media. You announce someone as the, Excellence Award winner or the best student. So immediately I contacted them, asked them to work for the company because talent and knowledge and education is all consulting company have.
That is great. And I know that you already have a lot of our interns as well.
Yes.
You made a company with a team of alumni, and now you're asking, again, go to UCW students, bring them to your company as an intern. So that is really great, actually. So what is your experience? Why you're doing this? What you can see in the value for your business to use interns?
Interns, because they have done already 3 months of internship with the company. And one of the most significant things is the organizational culture. So they got to know the culture of Drucker Pro International and how things going on in this company. And they are the best choices for us to get hired and recruited after doing their internship and graduated from the UCW. Why the majority of them are UCW students? Because I already have the experience of being the student at this university. I know the professors, I know the curriculum, I know almost everything. So once we have a challenge, I ask them to get back to something and make it happen. But I personally interviewed many others, but to be honest, the majority of the colleges and schools, specifically in business in BC, are not at the quality of UCW recently. So I want to really thank all the UCW team members and also professors and all the people that make it happen.
Thank you very much. It was a great thing to do. So I want to a little bit, again, talking about your own business. So you said that you're going to solve a problem for startup and businesses when they don't know how to run their business. Yes. Do you have any specific stream or a specific discipline that you support, or finance or operation? What is your main value?
Perfect. Thanks for asking, Laura. There are almost 14 distinct services we provide for startup businesses. And it starts from market research. Many of them come to us and ask for providing the business concept or the business idea that works. And we need supportive details to make sure that something really works in North American business community. So we need to do the market research, considering the entrepreneur's background, desires, their financial resources, and so many things. So it starts with market research, then move on to market business concept and business planning. And after that, we start with a marketing plan, with financing for startups for up to some of them $75,000 and some others to up to $350,000 under Canada Small Business Financing Loan. And then after the solid business plan and some other requirements. Then after that, we start with operation to make sure they have enough governance of the business flow. After that, we start with HR needs and management, because we need to define the job descriptions. Just only there are 2, 3, or 5 people working for the company. They need to have their own job descriptions, responsibilities, and make sure who might need to report to whom. So we design the organizational structure and culture, and then move on to other steps such as marketing, sales, digital marketing, and also the insurance policies of the company, because some companies need to have legal contracts with the clients and make sure that they are on the safe side. So we provide a range of services for small and startup companies that want to take the first step.
Payment with that element, like I'm just leaning on this element because it's small and it's startups. There's a lot of risk there. And meaning risk, meaning that, like, do they have the money, the capacity to actually make this happen? How do you structure that relationship so that you know that you're taking them down the right pathway?
The actually most significant responsibilities of Drucker Pro is to mitigate the risk for entrepreneurs by having the long-term planning, make sure that the company has got enough financial resources to cover some kind of mistakes or errors that entrepreneurs might make over the 5-year plan. And then after all, we need to make sure that the entrepreneurs also are really committed to the business. This is not something that Drucker Pro will do for them. We help them to make it happen. So we train them. We ask them to be audited by our experts and advisors almost on a monthly basis to make sure that financials, sales, and all the long-term goals that we had already set are being met with the entrepreneur and his team. So several frequent audits, financial resources, and a very good solid business plan. All these together with the trainings on the way will help the entrepreneurs to mitigate the risk they already might suffer.
One more thing here is that who is your main client? Are they a small business in Canada or other people, entrepreneurs that want to come to Canada? Because I think that it's part of your services is for people who want to invest in Canada, right?
Yes. Many immigration, it ranges from diverse, industries and people. But as of those who want to step into Canada, we help them. There are many immigration law offices that are currently working with Drucker Pro because if people want to step in Canada by investment visas, entrepreneur programs, or purchasing a business, we do all these services for them. We do the business concept and business planning for the new business startups. We help the startup visa program by business concept incubation period. We help business brokerage firms that they want to make sure the business that the immigrant wants to purchase is viable enough and it's profitable enough and healthy enough. So we negotiate with them, we collect all the financials and do in-house due diligence for the companies who wants to make profit for the new buyers. So we clear the path for those who want to step in Canada. On the other hand, there are startup companies here in BC specifically, and some existing great companies with almost $10 to $15 million sales per year. They are doing business with us for their research and development planning, financing, their business development plans, purchasing new equipment from other suppliers worldwide. So we help them a lot, and it ranges from startups to large corporations. The market segment we haven't been touched yet is giant ones like the manufacturers with almost 30 years of operation, because it's something that we have a target to reach out to maybe next year.
How do you contact those people? How to contact with client, find a client?
There are 4 to 5 different ways in our sales procedure or marketing. It starts with digital marketing and e-commerce, and then we have sales team in-house. So we train them. We have sales associates and sales representatives. They make cold calls to companies to book appointments with them and invite them to our office or even meet them at their location. So we have also referrals from accounting firms, from law firms, from realtors, mortgage brokers. There is a connecting, network of almost 15 sectors in the market that we have referral agreements with them, and they refer clients to us and we refer client to them. So on the other hand, we have event marketing. And in event marketing, we have already almost every bi-weekly Thursdays. So we invite other entrepreneurs, accountants, brokers, insurers, companies to our location, restaurants, party rooms, and ask them to be with us and speak about the business, but not in the business concept. It's in the fun and something, but they have great deals, receiving business cards, finding each other. And, we need to have a complex of different activities to make it happen.
I think this is excellent. And I think what we're learning is, and important is network is really important. Network leading to building the business idea and finding the people to work for you, but network also to find those referrals and to build that engagement. So Peyman, there must be some challenges that are out there. So we always end the show with our guests giving us a challenge that we can throw back to our students that you might not be able to solve, your organization's not able to solve. that we can sort of get students to think about that at the next evolution of innovation. Is there a challenge that we can throw out to our students?
The challenge that our company currently is facing with?
A challenge that you think, like, your company or the industry. Is there something like, there's lots of things going on around data decision making. How is that affecting your industry? Is there some challenges around these things that students that we need to be thinking about?
Perfect. As I mentioned earlier, we need to make sure how we can provide consulting services for manufacturers in British Columbia because they're already doing really well in the market. So they have enough money. They have $20 million in working capital sometimes that even we cannot touch them. And banks themselves target them and contact them. They have great teams on sales, operation, on many different aspects. But we know that there is a very good opportunity for business advisors and also graduates and alumni of business schools to reach out to manufacturers in Canada as a whole. So if we can know how we can, start negotiating and collaborating with these players, it's the challenge that if it's, addressed, it will be perfect.
Thank you, Peyman. Thank you, Dave. That was another episode of Innovation Fuel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Innovation Fuel. We are on all podcast streaming platforms, Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Visit our website at www.ucanwest.ca/innovationfuel. Also, follow us on Instagram at innovation_fuel.